It's time for the Longines Chronoscope, a television journal of the important issues of the hour, brought to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. A presentation of the Longines Whitnor Watch Company, maker of Longines, the world's most honored watch, and Whitnor, distinguished companion to the world-honored Longines. Good evening, this is Frank Knight. May I introduce our co-editors for this edition of the Longines Chronoscope. From the CBS television news staff, Larry Lasser and Ned Calmer. Our distinguished guest for this evening is the Honorable Antonio Fernos, Resident Commissioner of the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico.
There's one thing that's certain in the world today. It's that the problem of colonialism throughout the world has reached a climax. There's a crisis in Indochina, there are rumblings in Africa, and here at home, Puerto Rican nationalists have attempted to assassinate a president and have shut up the Congress of the United States to remind us that this country, too, has some non-self-governing territories. Now, Dr. Fernos-Isern is the resident commissioner of Puerto Rico and a member of Congress without a vote. We'd like to ask him whether or not it's true that Puerto Rico wants its independence.
No, Puerto Rico has solved its problem of self-government by becoming a commonwealth since July the 25th, 1952. The people of Puerto Rico asked Congress for that status. I had the honor of introducing the bill myself in Congress. And it was passed by Congress, and it was submitted to the people of Puerto Rico in a referendum for their approval or rejection, and the people overwhelmingly approved it. Thereupon, we had a constitutional convention, adopted our own constitution within the terms we had agreed with the Congress, and submitted the constitution to the people. The people approved the constitution. The Congress ratified it, and the Commonwealth was inaugurated. So actually, we have no colonial problem in Puerto Rico anymore, if we ever had it.
Well, then, nevertheless, there has been violence, we all know, regarding some people's desire in Puerto Rico for independence. What percentage would you say of the Puerto Ricans' desire to be separated from the United States?
Well, after the Commonwealth was inaugurated, as I said, on the 25th of July, 1952, we had our elections in November of that year, and the vote was 65% for the party I am a member of, I was nominated by, about 20% for a party that advocates separation, independence, and 12% about for a party that advocates statehood. But I want to be fair with the parties who are in opposition to the one I'm a member of, and this group of people that would resort to violence are not members of any one of those parties, nor ours, of course. They are a very small group, not more than 500 in the whole island.
Commissioner, not all Americans have had the privilege yet of seeing your beautiful island. What is the general standard of living there compared with the United States? Is there a good deal of poverty?
There is poverty in Puerto Rico more than we have in the mainland. The average income is about half of the lowest income in any state. I mean, the state with the lowest income. But the ways of life and the standards of life follow the same trend and the same pattern as in the mainland.
Well, Dr. Fernos, the emigration to the United States from the island of Puerto Rico to the mainland is, I understand, at the rate of about 50,000 a year. At least it was in 1953. What are you doing in the island itself to raise the standard of living so that people might want to stay there?
Well, we have what we have called Operation Bootstrap. We are trying to industrialize the island. Puerto Rico is only 3,500 square miles. That's all we have as territory, and it doesn't grow, while our population has been growing. And in the last census, according to the last census, 1950, we were above the 2 million mark. It is estimated to be about 2,200,000 at present. Naturally, as long as we were almost exclusively an agricultural community, there had to be a great deal of unemployment. in order to cope with that problem of unemployment, we have launched this program of industrialization. However, it is only natural that since we are citizens of the United States, there are no barriers in between, and there is as much freedom to people of the mainland to go to Puerto Rico as there is for the people of Puerto Rico to come to the mainland. If conditions here are better than down there, it's only natural that a lot of people down there may want to come up here and have the privilege of the opportunities.
Well, aren't there many attractive opportunities for American business in Puerto Rico to move from the mainland?
There are.
And to help your unemployment problem in that fashion?
There are, and more than, in the last 6 years, more than 300 new industries have been established in Puerto Rico and have increased the opportunities for employment. However, we would have to create many more opportunities than we do now. We have up to the present. On the other hand, our agriculture itself has to be developed along modern lines. We have a good sugar production in Puerto Rico, but of course we are subject to the quotas as all areas, domestic areas are. And in addition to that, we have coffee and we have
rum?
And rum as a byproduct of sugarcane.
But Dr. Fernos, I don't want to be the nationalist advocate, but because of this violence, I'd like to ask you a question. Why is it the Philippines, which ceded to the United States at the same time as Puerto Rico after the Spanish-American War, and Alaska and Hawaii, both of which demanded statehood, or are demanding it, and the Philippines demanding independence, why is it that Puerto Rico, out of all the territories of the United States, as you say, desires to remain a commonwealth?
Well, a commonwealth is, I would say, as good and acceptable a status as statehood or independence. It has political dignity. It has the sense of equality. We are, for all practical purposes, in what pertains to local matters, a state. The people of Puerto Rico have created a commonwealth, which is a sovereign commonwealth, as in the sense that the state is a sovereign state. On the other hand, we have followed in that the federal pattern, that is the idea of federation, the idea of two areas of government. One, the local, in charge directly of the people of that one particular area, state or commonwealth. The other area, the federal area, which means a government for all in such matters as can be handled better by a unified central government than it could be handled by 48 or 50 or 54 separate governments.
Well, the governor of Puerto Rico, I understand, is elected locally. And I know you don't have taxation without representation because there are no federal taxes in Puerto Rico. Nevertheless, you do not have presidential elections there, nor do you, as the resident commissioner and delegate to Congress, have a vote in the central organs of the United States government. Now, isn't there some dissatisfaction over that situation?
No, we believe that is an aspect of the present relationship that will bear re-examination. However, in practice, this is the situation. We are citizens of the United States. We have the federal government in Puerto Rico the same as they have it in Massachusetts, Idaho, or California. We have a Commonwealth government, which is a state government. Now, the question is, how much do we do to help support, and how much do we do to help run the federal government? Well, we only nominally help support the federal government, and therefore our participation in helping running it is about commensurate with our help to support it. Now, the question that federal law applies in Puerto Rico without our participating in its adoption is balanced by the fact that we do not come under the federal taxing powers, and also that laws apply in Puerto Rico the same as in the states. So it comes to say whether we had 2 votes in the Senate and 5 or 6 in the House when those laws came up. That aspect of the relationships probably will have to be further developed, as well as the part that we may have in helping support the federal government.
Well, Dr. Fernos, I'd like to ask you a question about the Puerto Ricans who are already in the United States. Now, as we know, many racial groups have emigrated here. They tend to stay in the port of entry But actually, is any effort being made to get the Puerto Ricans around the United States and assimilated into our United States-American pattern?
Well, traditionally, New York was the port of entry. Until the age of the airplane, we had to come from Puerto Rico to the mainland by boat, and the boats plied only between San Juan and New York. Now that we have the airplane, other avenues have been opened. There is a line now running from San Juan, Miami, Chicago. And Puerto Ricans are appearing in Chicago and other places in the West.
But the largest concentration is still in New York?
As of now, because it's the result of 50 years of history. But I'm confident that this is just, we might say, a beginning. After 50 years, it's not much time in the life of a people.
Dr. Fernos, may I ask, I think we have time for one more question. Do you consider your Commonwealth status in Puerto Rico a step towards independence or statehood, or is the Commonwealth status an end to itself?
I think the Commonwealth status has elements in it to make it permanent. As I said before, I think it needs further development and re-examination. But in itself, I think it's a great contribution to the American political system.
And you think that if we had other territories that they might welcome under such a
I believe it's a formula very well suited to areas that may find themselves in the position of Puerto Rico.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fernos. Pleasure to have you here tonight.
The opinions expressed on the Longines Chronoscope were those of the speakers. The editorial board for this edition of the Longines Chronoscope was Larry Lasser and Ned Calmer. Our distinguished guest was the Honorable Antonio Fernos, Resident Commissioner of the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. The worldwide reputation of Longines watches was not made in a day nor in a decade. It's been building for close to a century. Yes, since 1866, Longines has continually made watches of the highest character only, and has acquired along the way the highest skills and the highest honors ever achieved by any watchmaker. 10 World's Fair Grand Prizes, 28 gold medals, highest honors for accuracy in observatory competitions, and a position of leadership in sports, aviation, and in science. In these magnificent Longines watches of today, discriminating men and women will find all the qualities which they seek in a fine watch: perfect timekeeping, superb appearance, unique prestige, and reputation. And may I suggest that if you wish to buy for yourself or as an important gift just about the finest watch made anywhere in the world, your choice might well be Longines, the world's most honored watch. Yet you may buy and own or proudly give a Longines watch for as little as $71.50. And if you pay the price of a Longines, insist on getting a Longines, the world's most honored watch, the world's most honored gift, premier product of the Longines Whitnall Watch Company, since 1866, maker of watches of the highest character. We invite you to join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evening at this same time for the Longines Chronoscope, a television journal of the important issues of the hour, broadcast on behalf of Longines, the world's most honored watch, and Whitnall, distinguished companion to the world-honored Longines. This is Frank Knight reminding you that Longines and Whitnall watches are sold and serviced from coast to coast by more than 4,000 leading jewelers, who proudly display this emblem, Agency for Longines Whitnall Watches.